Good afternoon, and on behalf of the Garner family, I would like to thank all of you for joining us in this celebration of a great man's life. When I was 4 years old, I named my brother, and I have loved him every day since then. You see, Brian and I were both adopted by two of the most incredible, caring parents you could ask for. As my parents were sitting in the room signing paperwork, I went into a room next door and found a baby boy there. And I came running back in saying I had found my brother, and his name is Brian. Brian Robert Garner was born May 17, 1975, in Toppenish, Washington, and carried part of the Chippewa Cree Nation inside him. He was given up for adoption so that my parents and myself could have the honor of having such a bright light in our lives. When Brian was little, he was alone. He hated to be alone and was scared of the dark. So I would sleep next to him and hold him to provide that security and comfort. He hated being scared of anything, so as he grew, he faced challenges head on and would strive to overcome all of them. Brian and I were raised in the church, educated in the church school. With this type of education, Brian excelled and was extremely intelligent and creative. He was a very spiritual person, never really believing in an organized religion, but in a strong spiritual connection with the Creator in all of our relations. He was a natural at sports, dominating in football, soccer, and baseball. Throughout the years as we have grown, we have fought as brothers will. We have forgiven each other as we were taught to do. We ran the streets together as friends and warriors. We have traveled apart as life will take us in different directions, but have always returned as families should. Many of you visiting here today have shared 34 years with us. Brian touched many of us with laughter and humor. He can make fun of you and make you laugh about it. Many of you will remember his willingness to drop whatever he was doing and come help you if you needed it. And for some of you that are a little bit stubborn, he was that proverbial kick in the butt that you needed to find success and achievement in your life. Brian impacted us many ways, and for that we will remember him for the rest of our lives. In the Native world, it is believed that all things are connected, and that a person is rewarded and honored by the way they live their life. That connection is evident as I look at all the people that have gathered to celebrate this man's life. Chief Joseph stated, if we're taught to believe that the Great Spirit sees and hears everything, and that he never forgets, that hereafter he will give every man a spirit home, according to his deserts. If he has been a good man, he will have a good home. If he has been a bad man, he will have a bad home. This I believe, and all my people believe the same. Brian was in no way an angel, and he made poor choices, like many of us do. What could never be said about him was that he turned his back on family or friends. Brian would give of himself to help another, and did in many ways that have positive life-altering results. Brian would spend time with his son, Sebastian, treating him as his best friend, watching movies, going camping, spending time with family and friends. He spent time with Sebastian in ways that we should spend with our own children. Brian was a good man, and so therefore will live in a good home. It can be said that Brian lived a full and eventful life. In 34 years, he probably lived more and experienced more than most of us will in many years to come. What is life? Crowfoot, a Blackfoot warrior, described it as follows. It is the flash of a firefly in the night. It is the breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. It is the little shadow that runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset. It can be further described as, it's the dew on the leaves of the plants that you see and touch in the morning. It is the hug of a child as they leave to go play. It is the laughter and joy shared today in between the tears and the pain. Brian saw and lived these examples and more. Remember to enjoy all aspects of life and live your life to the fullest, as Brian did. White Elk, a Lakota elder, said it best in regards to today. When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your lives so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. The world that has gathered here today cries at this man's passing. I ask that all of you who knew my brother as family or friends, when the crying and sadness have passed, that you rejoice with my brother. Remember him as he would smile and laugh. Remember him being the smart aleck that he was. Remember him as the one you all called friend and brother. I will. Death, I say, there is no death, only a change of worlds. Brian, may you bless the next world as you did this one.